Do you want to take things that don't belong to you? Do you want to sneak up behind the bad guy and slit their throat? Well, then this week's episode of Total Cover, all about rogues, is for you. All right, Jake, what is a rogue?
What is a rogue? Rogue can be a lot of things, but really a rogue is kind of like that sneaky utility class that can kind of talk their way out of situations. You can do a ton of things with a rogue. There's archetypes in the book, but just kind of to give you a gist of it, you can be an assassin, you could be like a master thief, you could be an expert in dungeoneering, so you could be kind of the guide for the party, the guy who kind of goes and disarms everything and things like that. There's a ton of possibilities with rogues.
Yeah, actually the first character I ever played was a rogue way back in 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons. I think it was 1996.
Way back!
Yeah, I was playing AD&D, and the first character I ever rolled up was a rogue named Bilbo Baggins, because I had seen the Hobbit cartoon at my grandma's house when I was about 6 and just fell in love with it. Bilbo is a perfect example of a rogue. If you think about that adventure, he is able to, avoid detection when everyone gets captured by the trolls, and then he's able to trick them. Later on, when they fall down into Goblin Town, he's able to outwit Gollum in a contest of wits and sneak off while wearing the One Ring. And then finally, in the climax of that book, he's able to sneak into Smaug's lair and steal the treasure and lure the dragon out. And I just really loved Bilbo, so that's a character I wanted to play.
It's a very, very, very good example of what a rogue's talents entail. Is Bilbo Baggins. And most people who are kind of playing this role-playing game, doing either Pathfinder, Dungeons & Dragons, whatever they're doing, are familiar with Bilbo Baggins. So if you're not familiar with a rogue, great example to run off.
Mm-hmm. Some other popular rogues that you might know are Garrett from the Thief video game series. V from V for Vendetta would be a great example of an assassin rogue. Jack Sparrow is a great example of a swashbuckler rogue. Rogues are these characters that kind of like exist on the fringes of society where their behavior isn't really acceptable, but
the undesirables.
Exactly. they fit right into these fantasy campaigns, and rogue is a class that harkens all the way back to the beginning of Dungeons & Dragons, where you had the red box, where your 4 initial classes that everyone seems to like keep going back to are, fighter, priest, magic user, and thief. And mm-hmm. Thief has evolved into the modern rogue class that we see. So, what are some ways that you could play a rogue?
Well, ways that I personally like, what I look for in a rogue, why I would choose a rogue for my party is I think that, and you could do this with a number of classes, but I like rogue is my favorite class to do it with. I kind of like the rogue as the sneaky scout ahead person of the group.
Yeah, because check the doors for traps.
Yeah, if you've got kind of like a bad combination or not necessarily bad, just kind of like off the beaten trail combination of party members, you might find yourself with nobody with that kind of ability, so you're just kind of like, oh, we open the door, over and over again. Whereas if you have a rogue, you've got a much better chance of like, yeah, we open the door, I know there's 2 trolls on the other side of it, and because
I put my eye up to the keyhole.
I know what's going on. Yeah, the rogue's already run the whole circumference of the room. We're good. Let's go.
No problem.
He's in there waiting.
Later on, you bust out that wand to spider climb and that ring of invisibility, and you're off to the races.
Yeah.
I love rogues. It's always been one of my favorite classes. I keep coming back to it. I keep playing these rogues over and over again. And I'm really excited to try out an Arcane Trickster rogue. I think that was a really popular archetype from earlier editions of Dungeons & Dragons. And what they've done with 5th edition, where they build the archetypes right into the subclasses, is really got me excited to play this game. Where I know we're coming in late. We're Pathfinder players, honestly.
But we're learning. We're doing our best.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jake's actually running out of the abyss right now.
I am. You guys are all going to die. Anybody who's ever run out of the abyss, I'm reading through the book right now, and it's like, they're going to die at this part. At least 2 of them are going to die at this part. They have no weapons. They'll die there too. It looks impossible on paper, but we're going to see how many of them live. I'm going to have them prepare at least a half dozen other characters. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to the point on rogues.
Well, one of the other half dozen characters that I have prepared is Uranus, the half-elf rogue, that in case my life cleric dies, I have ready to go at the stat. And
I'm sure your dwarven cleric will be just fine in the Underdark. Nothing's going to happen. It's all good.
So I worship Moradin, but this is a video about rogues, so we'll try to stay on topic. I guess in conclusion, the rogue is an excellent class. They have a wide range of versatility. One of the things I really love about the rogue is that they get something at every level. Certain classes you have to wait, every other level you get an ability. Sometimes when you get that next ability at that every other level, it's something that's not really that great, and then you have to wait again. But as you go down the line, everything you're getting here is just kind of cool. You get your cunning action at level 2, your archetype you choose at level 3. You get that ability score improvement at level 4, which can often be swapped out for a feat if your DM's cool, and that can really
which your DM is. So
in this case, you get the uncanny dodge, is just going to reduce your damage at the following level, and so on and so forth, and it just kind of all adds up. And I really, really enjoy the way that the rogue has been designed in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, and I think it can lead to a lot of powerful adventures and a lot of powerful player experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you'll ever regret having a rogue in the party.
No,
awesome class to have with you. I do have just kind of a question for you. What kind of personality would you associate with a rogue if you were creating a rogue? What kind of guy is he, or what kind of girl is she?
Well, typically, I come from those early editions where alignment is a really big deal. So, alignment is something that I consider right up front. And for me, I've always played that chaotic neutral rogue, that kind of brash, I'm not evil, but I'm not good kind of character, and I kind of just build around there. Like, pickpockets, they have to have sort of a moral ambiguity in order to do what they do. Same thing with assassins. So I kind of start from that whole chaotic natured aspect of their character, and then I kind of go from there. I feel like half-elves really fit the bill for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I still usually gravitate to that halfling rogue because I want to play Bilbo Baggins. I just want
it's embedded
to play
inside
him,
of you.
But thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Total Cover. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please like, share, and subscribe this video. Tell your friends. Head on over to our Patreon or our Twitter, which you can find in the links below. And thanks for tuning in.